Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're picking up on the Scott's something. I can never remember the model number. It's a bunch of numbers, and to be honest, I don't really care. It's a Scott's, so it is what it is. A couple weeks ago, we got about 2 feet of snow, so this thing was just buried between the house and our storage area. It just drifts in like crazy here, so. This thing was buried and I was spending a lot of time moving snow, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to work on it, but I did get a few things done. I just shot a little bit of video working on another project, John Deere X320, and I'm not sure which one of these videos is going to get put out first. I'm waiting on parts for that one, and I got a few parts for this one, so I'm just kind of jumping back and forth, trying to be more efficient with my time. And so yeah, let's talk about what we did. In the last video, both of the front tires were flat. I picked up 2 tubes. This one is actually holding, so I didn't put a tube in that one, but I did have to put a tube in this one, and it appears to be doing its job. What else? I picked up this sweet battery tray. Before that, it was just batteries flopping around. I did get a new battery for this machine, and I'm not worried about spending the money because if this doesn't work for some reason, I always need batteries. We also got a new ignition switch and key, which is helpful. And here's the best way. Tucked in underneath here, you can see the new solenoid, new start solenoid. So let's see here. With the new solenoid, we can turn it over. So we could check for compression. We could check for spark. I can't remember if I mentioned in the last video, I did check spark after I got it turning over. So maybe I don't even remember. Did I have the key for the last video? I can't remember. Anyways, it's a twin cylinder. Cylinder on this side has good spark. Cylinder on this side does not. It has spark, but it's kind of weak. So I don't know if it's just a bad spark plug or what, or if we gotta check the ignition coil gap or whatever. So for today's video, I just want to check the condition of the carburetor. I did pick up a carb kit because I figured it was going to need it. So yeah, I figured we can jump right into this thing. It's going to need an oil change. I have a fuel filter. I have an oil filter. If we get this thing turning over and firing, I'll go ahead and throw those in. But first we got to get into the carburetor. So I think my plan is I'm going to pop this cable off, take the whole hood off, or bonnet. It's 2 bolts, and then if I can, it's super muddy out here, so you're going to hear a lot of squishing. There's 3 bolts that hold this front cowl in place, and they come off from the bottom. I'd like to get that off too, because the carburetor, you can see the fuel shut off solenoid right there. It's right there, and if I got that thing off, it'd be a whole lot easier. That being said, these bolts look awfully rusty, so I'm not sure. The other thing is we got to take off the whole cover, because I did a little research, and in order to take the carburetor off, you know what? Maybe we don't have to take this. That's right. We might not have to take this stuff off at all. If we take the cover, the engine cover off, and the flywheel cover, the entire carburetor comes off with the manifold, which at first I thought was kind of a pain, but it might be easier after looking at it. So I'm gonna get you magneted here. I got this cool magnet stand, tripod. It's nice because I can put you anywhere. So we'll take the flywheel cover off, the engine cover, and this is crazy. It's what is it, April 11th, and I'm out here in shorts and a tank top. And it's hot. I don't know what the temperature is, but normally we still got like 2 feet of snow. So I know I said that in the last video, and then we got 2 feet of snow. So I'm hoping that that doesn't happen again. I was actually thinking about taking the snowblower off my tractor and putting the loader on, but inevitably if I do that we're going to get another big snowstorm, so I might wait. Yeah, just having this early spring, and to be honest, this is the mildest winter I can recall ever. I mean, we had, up until we got that 2 feet of snow, we went all winter. I think we got one snowstorm in the beginning, and even that was like, I don't know, 4 inches maybe. So it was just a crazy winter. The nice thing for me is that I didn't have to spend hundreds of hours snow blowing like last year, and it gave me more time to get started on some of these projects. So I already got one mower done. I did a repair project for a customer, basically rebuilding a, what was it, a SRX 95 John Deere. It's one of those rear engine riders. Nothing had a ton of problems, but we got it. The problem is, and it's my problem, it's my fault, I do a kind of a poor job of assessing the projects I'm going to be doing in terms of whether it's going to be a good video or not. So they were like, in the beginning of the winter, I had 2 snowblowers I was working on, and I was like, oh, these are going to be simple. There's already 1,000 snowblower repair videos on YouTube. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for me to make a video. Well, sure enough, both of them ended up needing like full rebuild. Like, I stripped them down and painted them, stripped the paint, like completely, I don't want to say restored, but refurbished, I guess. And I was like, oh man, I should have shot video for those, because in my situation with my work hours, it's hard enough to find the time to make videos consistently, and I'm also at the mercy of the weather. Like, I don't have a shop, so if I want to work on something, it's going to be outside, unless it can fit in the shed, which I can do a snowblower in the shed, but these riding mowers I can't. So it's like, plus I don't want to be outside when it's 20 below. It's just, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to do that. And long story short, I need to just shoot the videos, and then if they turn out being something, that's cool. If not, that's cool too. But at least I'll have the option of putting it up, and then, hopefully that'll be more consistent content. My little styrofoam thing for my mic fell off. The one thing that's crazy is that it seems like every time I go to start making a video, I get the sniffles. Like, I haven't had a runny nose at all But now, after just being out here for an hour, Nickel City. So I apologize. I got this one. That sucks. Oh, you know what? I bet you, yeah, I didn't even need to take all those out. They just pop out. You just gotta loosen them. That would have been smart to figure out. The air cleaner, if I remember, looked good. Or wait a sec. It did look good. Let me show you after I get this cover off. Not there anymore. Pre-filter was toast. The air cleaner was decent, and then somebody, I don't know who, left it outside, so it got all snowed on, rained on. It's not in terrible condition. It's not all like crusty and stuff, but we'll see. I think I have a whole pile of these somewhere, so might be okay. And then this whole thing should pop off, like so. Now what? We got 1, 2, there should be 2 on the bottom, yep. 3, 4. 4 bolts to get the manifold off. It is 3/8. And then the fuel line. There's no fuel in the tank. Remember that. And then we should have our linkages and the cable for the fuel shutoff solenoid, which admittedly, like a lot of what I would call a fuel shutoff solenoid are categorized as a spark arrestor or spark inhibitor. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Cool story, Aaron. Backfire inhibitor, backfire arrestor. But I just call them all fuel shutoff solenoids because that's what they do. This one's kind of a pain. Like I said, I got a carb kit. I'm hoping it's the right one. A lot of times, I just get the generic carb kits because I can't justify the cost for the OEM ones, especially for a machine like this. It's not going to have a ton of resale value. It just doesn't warrant it. Like so this is a Scott's, but it's essentially a Murray product with the Scott's branding on it. And for the genuine Murray carb kit was like $80, I think. And I got this generic one off of eBay for $9. So that's a lot easier pill to swallow than $80, especially when we still don't know if this thing's gonna run or do anything. This one's fun. The linkage is right in the way. I wonder if I'd be better with the socket on the other side. Where are you? Seriously. Here's the linkage. There it is. You can just barely see it from the top. There we are. Okay. I mean, I suppose like we could try to be ginger and reuse these gaskets and stuff. I just got one just in case because I've had poor luck with that. I'm not as I'm not gentle enough, apparently. Most of the time, I destroy gaskets every chance I get. We need the fuel line. Get that guy. And the nice thing about taking the whole cover off is then we can test the ignition coil too to see if it's a bad coil or what's going on there. Ah, you suck. So did that first, Aaron. Okay, there's that. Let's get the cable off the fuel solenoid. It's pretty goobered up down here. I think we're gonna have to throw this whole thing in the ultrasonic cleaner. Oh, there we go. Okay, vacuum tube. There's that. Get this out of the way. Now what do we got? Linkages. Who wants to play nicely? Nobody, apparently. Oop, that came free. Something came free. Odd. My dog's going nuts on her shrubbery. Or last year's shrubbery. Okay, I got the linkage. Now, do I want to? Looks like there's a retaining screw here for the throttle cable, and I'm guessing that's going to be 5/16. Yes. Okay, that should be it. Now we should be good to go. Awfully sticky. Is that in that, and voila. Goes back in. I mean, this thing is, top looks good. Pressure wash that. Bottom, not great. I'm gonna bring this inside the shed so we can work on it on the bench, and then we'll get to cleaning it. Okay, where do you want to start? Let's get this solenoid off. And then check out the bowl. And we'll see how bad this is. This might just be exterior corrosion. I got the ultrasonic cleaner heating up because I'm figuring that we're going to need it. Well, that's not good. I think our shut-off solenoid is stuck in position. So let's back the bowl off. If we can. Get a little container for my parts. Well, that ain't good. What should we do? Want to try a impact screwdriver? So, an impact screwdriver works like an impact gun, where you pound on the back side of it. Not only does it drive the bit in so it doesn't strip as easily, but it turns it as well. I can never remember which way it's supposed to go. Yeah. So by applying some pressure and then hammering it, we can break it free. Try this one here. Works pretty slick most of the time. Alright, so this should be, yeah. Interesting. She's, real crowded in there. That's gonna have to go in. Needle is not stuck though, so that's good. I mean, it might, I don't know. I suppose we should probably, I mean, we're already here, we may as well clean it out and try to do a good job. So we got these 4 nuts on the back side. And what's your bet? 3/8? No. 10 millimeter, I bet. 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter. Nope. Okay, how about 7/16? There we go. It is kind of, sometimes it's a pain to do a carb, but it really, at the end of the day, it's also not. Like, sure, this will take me probably a half hour of disassembly and reassembly and a half hour of soaking in the ultrasonic cleaner, so an hour total. But then we can eliminate that as a problem going forward, and it should there'll just be less to worry about. So I would think that this manifold would now pop off. Oh. So, hey, what do you know? I saved a carburetor. I saved a gasket. Let's throw that there. Let's take the float bowl out. Okay. So close. It is so close. There we go. And the float looks pretty good. It's got a rubber tipped needle. That doesn't look too bad. Alright, what else can we do? This linkage only has one option, but it has to go in the right orientation. This one for the choke. I cannot get off yet. I have to separate the manifold, which I would think should just pop off, right? No way. I saved another gasket. So far I'm 2 for 2. I wonder. Do you think it's threaded into the manifold? So if we put one nut on, and the second nut, and then I can fit our. What if we turn this one around and tighten them? I'm just wondering if these studs are threaded into the manifold. I gotta tighten these two together somehow. We can't get 2 wrenches in there. It's got these inverse torques on the studs. I don't think I have a bit for that. So that would be the optimal way. You just run these out. Let me see what I got for other nuts. We should be able to thread 2 nuts on together and then back them up against each other like so. So let me get another 7/16 wrench. Snug these two together. There we go. And now the whole thing unthreads. So that works. It's just kind of a bummer because you gotta thread 2 nuts on, tighten them up, unthread the stud, unthread the nuts, but it works pretty well. So I'm gonna zip these all off and I'll get this manifold off. Alright, all 4 studs are out, popped right open. So there's the manifold. Our linkages again, pretty straightforward. Let's see, what else do you want to do? Manifold size shouldn't be much. We can give this a good external cleaning, but I think I'm going to leave this gasket on. It's on there pretty good. We can give this a good cleaning, but we don't have to soak it or anything, so that's going to stay. On the carburetor side, let's just take a look here after we clean up a tad. We've got a spacer, and another gasket. So looks like orientation doesn't matter, although the side with the 1 was in towards the curb, like so. So that can go over there. This gasket I would like to take off, if possible, because I want to soak the carb, and the gaskets are going to get totaled if you put them in there. And yeah, this one's breaking up, so we're gonna have to break into our kit a little bit anyways. Let's see here. Let's check. Under here. Not sure if that's going to need to come off or not. In general, I like to strip as much as I can off the carburetor before it goes and soaks. Because, like, in theory, I would think that would do a better job. There's a little bit of warpage on this gasket here, but we can leave this intact, like so. After I just said that I like to strip everything. So what do we got for jets? Not a lot. We got to get that bowl gasket. Oh, that's in there. That is in there. little crusty. Alright. So the bowl gasket especially, you want to get out if you can. If you're going to try to reuse it. If you're not, it doesn't matter, but if you put that in the ultrasonic cleaner, it will swell up and it won't go back into place. However, this one is really, it's not pliable. It's pretty hard. And looks like there's some cracking there too. So I think as long as the kit has the right size bowl gasket, we'll put the new one in, but just keep that there for now. Alright. Now let's pop these guys out if we can. There's like this plastic tube where the emulsion tube comes down, and so I don't know what we're gonna find down there. Interesting. So there's two jets. That makes sense for twin cylinder. Two emulsion tubes, I should say, with this gasket in between. It's kind of like an O-ring. It looks more like a rubbery O-ring. So we probably have to take the throttle plate off, take this screw out, and then we can push those out. But I don't see any like low idle jets or anything like that. The seat for the needle down there looks like that looks fairly clean. So let's just keep poking away. Can I get this little tiny gasket out of here? Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's like, so here's the hard part. You get this like corrosion underneath everything, and for me, like, I don't want to put that back in there. So I'm trying to be all nice and ginger, and I'm actually doing a good job of saving gaskets for once, and then they're dirty on the backside, so it is what it is. But I wish it would have been nice if we could have reused more. So I'm going to take the throttle plate off with these two screws. My dog is barking at something. We have a pretty big field, so she can see deer all the way across the field. And that's normally the culprit. But she also likes to bark at nothing sometimes, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case as well. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. When I first started disassembling carbs, I had a really hard time like remembering how things went back together and the orientation. And so I like to try to take some mental notes as I'm disassembling stuff, just to help me have some visual landmarks when I'm putting it back together. We got another gasket under here. I don't know what you would call this. It's like where the fuel gets split for the two cylinders. I don't know what you'd call that, but that's what I'm working on here. Got this gasket. Not bad. Can maybe clean that up. And what we got in there? So I wonder if these emulsion tubes can press out all the way, or if that's as good as I'm going to get. There also might be a little jet down there. It's hard to say. I really want to get, what was I looking? Oh. I really want to get one of those like desk magnifying, light things, just so I can see better. But I'm too cheap to buy one, so I keep waiting to see one that'll go for sale at auction at a reasonable price. These jet passages on the top look clear. I have no way of really ascertaining the rest of it. I also don't know which way they're installed. Like, should it come out this way or pushed out this way? Because it's open all the way through on both sides. So it goes in one way, right? I wonder if I take a teeny tiny punch and just see. I also don't want to damage anything, because then that's more parts that I gotta get. That's bitten me before on cards too, like trying to take apart too much and not knowing when to stop, and then before you know it, you break something and then you gotta get more parts. So I think I'm just gonna clean up this gasket if it wants to play, and we'll pop it in the ultrasonic cleaner for a little bit and get back to something else. So here's everything after the ultrasonic cleaner. I think it cleaned up pretty well. Gasket set, or carb kit, whatever. Just taking a look here to see what parts I want to use. This needle's not going to work as well because it would be metal on metal. So I'm probably going to use the old needle. And as far as gaskets goes, I have to use the two obviously that I destroyed. But I'm just going to kind of go through and figure out in terms of the old ones or the new ones, if I want to just go ahead and replace all of them or what. But I think I'm just gonna put this back together off camera. It's the same as the disassembly, just obviously in reverse. And I figure that's also probably a good time to wrap up this project. Or not the project, but today's video. The machine, I'm still not getting any spark. I took it apart, tested the coil. Coil tested fine on the multimeter. Cleaned everything up, even, in the boot here for the lead. Still not getting spark. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. but we'll save that for the next video. I wanted to get the carb done, and we more or less did that. So I'm just going to work on getting that put back together, and we'll pick it up in the next video. So with that, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, thanks for watching. All right, so we got the carb all put back together, got it back on the machine. And I was like, well, that's kind of an odd place to stop. So we may as well, since we have it all put together, see if this thing will fire and run. And then if it does, that's awesome. And then even better, we'll see if the transmission works and we can take it for a little cruise. All right, choke is out. We're at half throttle. We did put a battery in so we don't have to run off the jumper pack anymore. Let's see here. Nothing. Oh, hold on. What is that? We got...
Yeah, I can hold that.
Hold on. We got a lot of burning off on the muffler. So seems like got an awful lot of oil leaking, which, if I remember correctly, we hosed this thing off pretty well. So I'm gonna get this thing, I'm gonna let this cool off. We'll probably clean up this oil and see if it's actively leaking or if that's just residual oil that was left over from before. It looks pretty wet though, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. But the good news is that it runs. So this time I'm going to cut you off here, and we'll pick it up after this thing cools off. And in the next video, we'll start tearing into the deck as well, and then we'll address whatever's going on with this stuff. So if you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. And until next time, thanks for watching.